But to cut a long story short, I've got into chairs. Now, I began to sell chairs. Not a lot.
What style were your first chairs?
I have a photograph of the very first chair that I made. I think Sandy has a photograph here as well as the very first chair I made, yeah. Which I'll put out here. It was a similar chair to this. It had very fine sticks at the back and so forth. Well, it doesn't look anything like that actually, but it had 5 sticks aside and 8 sticks in the back.
So it was that style.
It was that style of chair. That's the one I've seen in the window. Now, here comes the interesting bit. Yeah, it's, no, I don't think I'll put it. How did I want to do this? You know, this is the kind of, by this time I bought Dunbar, I bought Country Woodcraft, Drew's first book, was a great inspiration to me. I've got a well-thumbed copy at home. I remember lending it to a publisher once when John Seymour was writing Forgotten Arts, various trades which I featured, but they used it for all sorts of other things. I mean, they should have paid you a huge sum of money. They should have paid me too. And all they did was figure and say, thank you very much for your help. Dawn Kindersley, the publisher. But I'd started to get buying books. And I found that I built this chair totally incorrectly. I can't think of one process that I used in this chair. And I tried to say to myself, you're an old Welsh farmer. You want something to sit on, and I liked that, and that chair that I'd seen. So I was putting all that together. But I've done it all wrong. And so I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to get this, and I might have to get that. That isn't the way to do that. And I tried all these methods, and generally I come back to the way that I did it all wrong. Not entirely, of course, I've been influenced by all of these things. I mean, I had a shipwright set, and I was adding the thing on the floor, the seat, I don't do that. It's much easier. I found a much easier way and a more accurate way of doing it. I can get a deeper scoop, more accurately a deeper scoop by doing it in front of me and vertically, you see. What I didn't want to do was to become a one-man factory. Now, here is where I read the article by Rick Mastelli earlier on, and I thought, Dave said something which I don't believe, but I've actually written it this month in the magazine, you read it yesterday, about coming here, and I wrote it about Dave. I don't believe it either. He said, I've got no imagination. I just build, I tried building a fancy chair once, and I didn't have imagination. But I was willing to go along with that, and as I said in the article, we're on opposite ends of the seesaw today. Because I was never ever, I determined it very early on that I would never build 2 identical chairs. And I never have. I've now built, as near as I can estimate, I only kept records after a couple of years. I've now built about 600 chairs in that period. And I can honestly say I've never built 2 chairs. I've tried sometimes, they don't come out. And most of the times I try to think of these things all the time. Every chair is a clean canvas. I say I'm an artist. I'm not a craftsman. I'm not a very good craftsman. I'm a fairly rough worker. I mean, the precision and the beauty of some of the things that Dave does. I won't touch a lathe. I won't go near a blood lathe. I find that mindless occupation standing there holding a chisel up and whirring around. I just can't bear the idea of a lathe. And so, every time on a Monday morning, and it usually is a Monday morning, I step out into the workshop. At that moment, I have no idea what I'm going to make next. I really hate commission. I like to build them first and sell them up. And if they don't work, then I don't sell them. I break them up and try and rescue some of the parts. mean, I have fun. You know, and they get less as you go on. You get more experience. You've got to be. And so Monday morning, I look around and find some sequins and make it. I've got sequins all over the place. I usually now glue up because buying it wide enough to get the seat in one piece out. A, it's difficult. B, it's not very good because you're more likely to get a wall seat that isn't glued up than you are one, you know, out of one piece. That should be a bit of residual dampness in it, and it goes into a very hot air conditioned, centrally heated house. You can have trouble. I have no troubles at all by gluing seats. This is one piece seat, but the grain goes across the seat. That seat is a 4.5 grain seat, which is more often what I use.
Do you have a preference?
No, not really. I go through phases. I mean, this is the love of my life. I mean, this is the only chair which can be truly said to be Welsh. It's nothing else. There's nothing like it anywhere else. Cone back, that big cone back, you can see some early American chairs of a similar type, probably more ornate, and you certainly see them from all over Britain. Early ones. And I have just carried on my work by design is a very posh word for what I do. Hold up a stick, you know, or something of that nature. I don't design anything. And the less I can use the rules, the better. And I saw Chester Cornett, the old craftsman of Cumberland, was it Craftsman of Cumberland? Book is called. There's a video from Kentucky, an old mountain chair maker, building ladder type chairs. I saw him measuring the other day. You know, that was wonderful. He had his back post there, and then 2 hands and a finger, and he makes a mark, and he puts a hand, makes another mark, and then a finger or a thumb, and he's measuring up the chair. But of course, this doesn't matter as long as you put the other one alongside it and make both sides the same. It's okay. And so it is with this. I've decided to try and develop this a bit more. I don't like rules. I don't like measuring things. These chaps will tell you that for brain moving this week, I have had to measure a lot of things, but they know I'm reluctant. They know I'm reluctant. When I finish the chair seat, I turn it over with a piece of chalk, go dot, 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 dot. That's where the legs are going, and then I measure every chair I do. Unless it's like I just built 2 for an Oxford college, and they have to be a bit bottom, and that took me months. Well, they didn't take months, so they took about 6 weeks to do chairs, and fortunately they paid good money and there was a bit of carving, and so I got out of it okay. You know, when I tried to do it with measuring. And I mean, I bore the back stick, you know, by a position which I've taken up, and I know more or less that this one wants to be a bit less, this one wants to be a bit more, and, you know, that's the way I work. So there is no precision in it at all. But if I make it sound rough and ready, I'm like Dave, I don't have any trouble marketing. What I do with mine is probably a little different from him. I do get word of mouth. People who bought one and somebody else buys one, I get people to phone up and buy them on the phone. But generally, the majority of them go straight to the same gallery that I've been using for 15 years. And they all sell eventually. Some take longer. And I'll tell you an interesting fact. If they're like that dark one, they sell quickly. If they're just bare wood with a sealer on and a wax, it's difficult to do. Because that is a modern finish, and the chair, people don't want that chair for a modern finish. They want that chair for an old-fashioned finish. And you couldn't sell a painted chair in Britain. Absolutely. You never sell it. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. You cannot sell a painted chair in Britain. So there is a total difference between British taste and American. But you see, I only found out from Drew the other day. I said I couldn't understand. The Dunbar's book is widely circulated. companies who are cashing in and making the Wickham style chairs, and they stand outside of the strip pine shops. Do you have strip pine in this country? Yeah. They stand outside of the strip pine shop, ridiculously cheap. Beach. Some of them are even made in Eastern Europe.
Yep.
And shipped in. And there's American chairs, lots of American chairs made in Czechoslovakia. You go into cafes and you see these are definitely American style chairs.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. They've got a plywood seat, but they have somehow developed a method of bottoming the seat. I don't know how they do that, but when you look carefully, it's got plywood. So that's the story of my life. What's and all. I was married again for 12 years while I was in chair making, which is very fine business. I was married to John Seymour's daughter, the man who was supposed to invent self-sufficiency, you know, when the homestead movement was on. And then I made a mistake and married a third time, which was that's the last mistake. So I kept trying. I've given up now. The chairs have given me so much in my life. I've met so many people who have us exactly go, you know, with what you're doing and with what you're making, coming to America here, meeting people and so on. And it seems to me that I'm just as bad as voting people in the chair. Once they're bitten, it's like, you know, they've been given the first crack on, they're off. That's it.